Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. On September 8, 1995, Zhang Ailing passed away alone in her home in Los Angeles. After her death, it was discovered that she had bequeathed her $320,000 inheritance and all the rights to her literary works to her friends, the Qi couple. This decision sparked widespread public attention, with many people questioning why she chose to give the money to her friends rather than her younger brother. At the time, Zhang Ailing's brother, Zhang Zijing, was in a difficult situation. He was living in poverty and even struggled to find a wife. Zhang Zijing was the only close family member left after their parents passed away. Had Zhang Ailing not made a will, theoretically, her inheritance should have gone to Zhang Zijing. $320,000 in 1995 was roughly equivalent to 2.7 million renminbi, a substantial sum at the time. Zhang Ailing was well aware of her brother's struggles. Zhang Zijing had been working as a teacher in the countryside, earning a meager income that could barely cover his living expenses. He lived in a dilapidated 14-square-meter house left by his stepmother. Due to his poverty, Zhang Zijing had never been able to marry. A young woman once agreed to marry him, but on the condition that he first buy a house. Zhang Zijing tried to raise the money and decided to ask his sister, who was living in the United States, for help, hoping she could assist him in buying a small apartment in Shanghai. However, when Zhang Ailing received his letter, she only replied with a brief note, rejecting his request, stating, "I am also facing financial difficulties and cannot help. I am truly sorry." Because he could not afford a house, Zhang Zijing missed his last chance to marry. As a result, many people found it hard to understand why Zhang Ailing chose to leave her inheritance to her friends rather than helping her own brother. Why did the brother, who had once shared a bond of family, not receive any assistance in the end? Zhang Ailing's coldness and heartlessness raised many questions. Was she really such a cold person? Or were there deeper, unspoken reasons? According to historical records, Zhang Ailing was very fond of her younger brother, who was a year younger than her, when they were children. After all, they lived in the same household and both experienced similar family misfortunes. Especially when their father beat her brother, Zhang Ailing once dreamed that if she had enough money, she could escape that unhappy home with her brother. However, Zhang Ailing's attitude toward her brother changed later. And this shift began with the arrival of her stepmother and the changes in their family dynamics. Zhang Ailing could never accept her stepmother as a new maternal figure. But her brother seemed indifferent to both his stepmother and father, even growing close to them as though they were a real family, while excluding Zhang Ailing. This feeling of betrayal stirred resentment in her. At the same time, her brother, like their father, showed no ambition, neither attending school nor seeking work, living a life of idleness. This lack of drive made Zhang Ailing despise him. Yet, none of these were enough to make Zhang Ailing completely abandon her brother. What truly disheartened her was an incident that occurred later. One day, Zhang Ailing had an argument with her stepmother, and her father, without asking for details, brutally beat her and locked her in a small room in the house, ordering the servants to guard her and prevent her from contacting anyone. During all of this, her brother not only failed to speak up for her but also did not ask their father to release her. What hurt Zhang Ailing even more was when she accidentally discovered a letter her brother had written to relatives, in which he criticized her for damaging the family's reputation. Reading the letter, Zhang Ailing realized that her brother had not only betrayed her but had become an ally of her stepmother, standing on the opposite side. Soon after, taking advantage of a shift change among the servants, Zhang Ailing quietly escaped from the house and never returned. That year, Zhang Ailing was 18, and her brother, Zhang Zijing, was 17. Although Zhang Ailing and her brother later maintained some form of contact, it was always initiated by him. As for Zhang Ailing, her attitude toward him remained cold throughout. In her brother's eyes, Zhang Ailing's indifference may have seemed like just a result of her personality. However, in reality, this coldness had a deep-rooted reason. Zhang Ailing had made a conscious decision to sever all ties with the Zhang family, including her brother. In 1952, Zhang Ailing left Shanghai, first moving to Hong Kong and then to the United States. During this process, she didn't even inform her brother, Zhang Zijing. This behavior could almost be described as abandoning him. However, despite her indifference to family, Zhang Ailing never forgot those who had helped her, and she made efforts to repay their kindness. When Zhang Ailing first arrived in Hong Kong, she met the Song-Chi couple, who provided her with significant help during her most difficult times. Since Zhang Ailing was not good at handling everyday matters, the Song-Chi couple rented a place near their home for her, so they could take care of her, even inviting her to dine with them every day. Later, when Zhang Ailing moved to the United States, life wasn't easy for her. Once again, the Song-Chi couple helped her find a job, ensuring her livelihood. As Zhang Ailing's writing began to gain traction, they also helped her find a publisher and even arranged for her works to be published in Taiwan. Every time Zhang Ailing returned to Hong Kong for business, she stayed at the Song-Chi couple's home. Even though they didn't have a guest room, they gave her their son's room, and he stayed in the living room. The care they showed her was like a lifeline, providing her with warmth in a foreign land. Compared to the harm caused by family, the kindness shown by the Song-Chi couple made Zhang Ailing realize that true friends are even more valuable than family. Thus, when Zhang Ailing wrote her will, her brother, who had not been in contact with her for years, had already made the fragile, fading bond of family even more distant. In contrast, the friendship of the Song-Chi couple had long surpassed the weak family ties. Therefore, it was only natural for Zhang Ailing to leave her inheritance to them. According to related historians, Zhang Ailing was one of the most captivating writers in the history of modern Chinese literature, admired by many readers as a literary genius. Her work spanned multiple genres, including novels, essays, scripts, and criticism, with her greatest achievements found in her novels. Her works transcended the era in which she lived, becoming classics in literary history. In terms of subject matter, themes, character development, narrative structure, and language skills, Zhang Ailing's novels displayed a strong personal style and significant literary achievement. Her works not only broke the boundaries between high and low culture but also delved deeply into marginalized characters, an aspect that distinguished her from other writers of the 1940s. Therefore, Zhang Ailing's novels cannot be simply categorized into any one literary school but represent a unique existence, making a distinctive contribution to the history of Chinese fiction. In addition to her novels, Zhang Ailing's achievements in essay writing should not be underestimated. Her essays skillfully blend emotion and reason, specific life experiences with profound philosophical reflection. On one hand, her essays are full of worldly charm, vividly showcasing her personal experiences and insights into real life, such as childhood memories, urban life, relationships between men and women, and daily trivialities. On the other hand, she did not get lost in the surface of life. Through meticulous observation and thought, she revealed the deeper meanings behind life, showing her unique perspective on existence. This made her essays not only rich in subtle, everyday detail but also marked by deep intellectual reflection. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.